This is the Google Pixel 4a. I've had the phone for 1 year now, and I want to start this video with this. Good job, Google. $349 is an amazing package for what you're getting with the Pixel 4a. In fact, this phone greatly justifies that sometimes you don't always need the premium flagship phone or those premium flagship features. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. Today, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the Pixel 4a after 1 year. So, without further delay, let's dive right in. Design of the Pixel 4a is simple, and I dig it. It has a unibody plastic build which isn't premium, but it's held up super well during my use. Having a premium built phone with glass and all is great, but it's pretty risky knowing that it's easier to break. I really appreciate this plastic unibody build. In fact, Google has used this overall design for the Pixel 4a, 5G, and Pixel 5. Anyway, there is a physical fingerprint reader on the back of the phone, which has come in clutch nowadays. The Pixel 4a also has a headphone jack. Almost every company has begun to ditch the headphone jack on their devices, and more people are beginning to switch to wireless earbuds, and that's great. But sometimes having a headphone jack does come in clutch. Another thing I really appreciate with the Pixel 4a is the clicky buttons. Just listen to how clicky they are. Anyway, USB-C is present, and I'm glad that I can now carry one cable for nearly all of my products, excluding, obviously, I have an iPhone 2, excluding that, but I use MagSafe for that. Anyway, the Pixel 4a does get fairly loud with its dual speakers, with the second one being embedded in the earpiece on front of the phone. The display on the Pixel 4a is the game changer here because this was the first device that Google implemented a more modern approach and a more modern display with its hole punch camera cutout. We've got phones with huge displays and 120Hz refresh rates, and while this phone doesn't have any of that, it shows us that we really don't need any of that. The Pixel 4a's 5.8-inch OLED display that runs at 60Hz is very smooth and compact. The display is not too big or not too small. I think it fits perfectly in one hand. The colors, the watching experience, and consuming content, playing games is enjoyable. For those of you who are always on your phone, you won't be disappointed because the display is the part of the phone we use the most, and this display is good. It's very good. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell notifications, as it does help out the YouTube algorithm and pushes my content to more people. One of my favorite things about Pixel devices is stock Android. Everything on this phone comes from Google itself. While the phone first shipped with Android 10, it quickly got updated to Android 11 on day one, and now I've been rocking the Android 12 beta since its release in May with the unveiling in Google I/O of 2021. The Pixel 4a will receive the official Android 12 update, as well as one more with Android 13. With my Pixel running the Android 12 beta, I haven't come into any issues really, except with my latest beta 3, and I have a video as well with the beta 3. I have come to some issues there, but overall, if you're running Android 11 with no beta build like me, you won't come into any real issue, but in the end it's still a beta, so I wouldn't really recommend downloading this beta just to play it safe, especially if this Pixel 4a or any Pixel device or any Android device is your main phone. Don't download a beta. Remember, Pixel devices are Google's ideal devices where they can showcase their latest software, and Android 12 is a huge design overall with quote-unquote material U, as in YOU. The only downside is that the Snapdragon 730G in the Pixel 4a isn't the most powerful chipset, so I do wonder how Android 13 will run next year with this outdated chipset. Nonetheless, the clean and stock Android feel, especially with Android 12, has really got me pumped for what Google has in store for the future and their product lineup. Now, with any Pixel comes amazing camera quality, and the Pixel 4a is no exception. This phone is the reason why I started taking more photos with my smartphones. The quality is just so clean and crisp that I'm always looking for any opportunity to use the phone's camera. Granted, the actual camera lens isn't the greatest and latest, the greatest or it's the latest and greatest, let's put it that way. And it is the same sensor found on the Pixel 4, the Pixel 3a, and the Pixel 3. But that doesn't matter because the software implementation and what we call computational photography is what makes it so beautiful. Nowadays, phones have dual or triple camera setups by using ultra-wide or telephoto lenses or monochrome, whatever it is. But the Pixel 4a only comes with one lens. And I think that's okay, at least for now. The Pixel 4a has proved to take more real-life photos as it maintains pretty good saturation too. Now, why do I think it's okay to have one camera lens for now? Because it already takes amazing photos with that one camera lens. Now, as we progress and we start to see more and more phones at this price range of $349 with more camera lens options, then it is, I would expect Google to add it at least with like a Pixel 5a or next year with the 6a, whatever it is. But for right now, because this phone came out last year, I think it's still perfectly fine. It takes amazing photos. Now, I personally prefer sharper photos, and the 4a does just that. When we come to video, it gets the job done. But it's nothing too crazy like something like the iPhone. I'll be sharing some sample images on screen so you can see exactly how the results come out and how the camera performs. But I gotta say, keep it up, Google. Battery life on a smartphone is crucial because we want our devices to last us for quite a while. Well, how about Pixel 4a? Its battery life has been great in terms of my usage. I'm always getting around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time. I typically start the day at around 8 a.m. I'm up before that, but I typically start and get work done at 8 a.m. and end around 10 p.m. with about 20 to 25% of battery life. I don't need to worry about charging the phone throughout the day. Charging at night is also a breeze. It isn't the fast Warp Charge 65 like we have on OnePlus devices, but 18 watts on the Pixel 4a, it performs fairly well. I've been using, like I said, the Android 12 beta since it was first released in May at its unveiling in Google I/O, and I haven't noticed any downsides to the beta. Well, obviously with beta 3, but that's also issues are cleared up with beta 3.1 or any decrease in battery life. Like, yes, I have beta 3. I haven't come to any really results or any downsides with battery life. The reason why the battery life on the Pixel 4a is so good is because the Snapdragon 730G isn't a power-hungry processor, and the phone does not have a power-hungry display. No high resolution or no high refresh rate. It's not like Quad HD or 4K. Keep in mind that the Pixel 4a does not have wireless charging, but you get used to it after a while. Now, 3,140 milliamp hours might seem like a little, but hear me out. It's good. With Android 12 running on the Pixel 4a and its stock, clean, and fluid experience, battery life hasn't been a disappointment, and I know battery life is really important to a lot of people, so guys, take it from my experience. I've been doing really well with the Pixel 4a battery life. It's gotten me throughout the entire day. The Pixel 4a has been praised a lot because of its price, and it is to be praised for. Now, there's only one configuration, and with that you get 6 gigs of RAM and 120 gigs of storage, and some will complain, oh, 6 gigs of RAM is enough, but guys, honestly, I think it's perfectly fine. For many, 120 gigs of storage should be fine. It's fine for me. For those of you who really do use up a lot of storage, obviously there's now the clouds and all this. But if you really can't do 120 gigs of storage, then maybe this just might not be for you. But for most people, it should be fine. And 6 gigs of RAM has been enough during my use with the 4a. With a modern design, a crisp OLED display, an excellent camera, and amazing battery life, the price for the Pixel 4a is right on point. And the reason why I say modern design is because we've always gotten these weird designs from Google, like a huge notch with the Pixel 3 series and a huge chin with Face ID with the Pixel 4. It didn't really give us that modern design. It wasn't keeping up with designs of phones during their time. So Pixel 4a kind of going for a full display with a hole punch does give us that modern feel. I think this is a perfectly priced Pixel. I strongly believe that price is one of the main reasons why the Pixel 4a is a buy, because in the end, price does play a role for a lot of people when picking up a new device, and that includes me. So 1 year later, is the Pixel 4a worth it? Well, of course it is. Can anyone use this? Yes. Is it for the general consumer? Yes. There will be definitely some who disagree, and guys, that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own opinion. Google has definitely nailed it with the Pixel 4a. Again, this is my opinion. Some people might disagree. That's okay. That's why we're here to share our opinions, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about the Pixel 4a down in the comments below. Each year, it becomes more and more difficult to justify the need for flagship devices, and now we're getting foldables priced at like $1,200, $1,300. We're getting these premium mid-range for like $700, $800, foldables for $1,900, $2,000. We all know that if you buy a flagship, yes, you're going to be getting the latest and greatest, but the question is, do we need all of that? Do we need a $1,200 flagship phone? Most definitely not. Mid-range devices like the Pixel 4a or something like Samsung's Galaxy A52 or the iPhone SE, they're gaining more and more steam. That's probably because good phones are getting cheap, and vice versa, cheap phones are getting good. Just because the price of the Pixel 4a is cheap, $349, it's a mid-range device, doesn't mean it's an actual cheap phone and you aren't cheaping out if you pick one up. I hope that Google continues this amazing A lineup, because this is where they're really performing well. One last time. Good job, Google. Pixel 4a is a keeper in my books. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to Superman that like button, comment down below, because with the more interactions we get on this video, not only helps the video and the channel, but also pushes the video out to more viewers. And best of all, Superman that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, and until next video, this is MTG.